Hello? Your sound. Let's do it. Sounds off. All right, I'm sharing our link.
You're rocking with the newest radio show on Hamilton Radio, My Sports Radio.
Deals and buys. That's right high. It's a game. All time home run list.
Trainer right next to me is saying, you may hear it. Down goes Freezer. Down goes Freezer. Down goes Freezer.
Gonna be fielded by Lorenzo Neal at the 25. Chases it back to Wycheck. He throws it across the field to Dyson. He's got something. He's got something. 50. He's got it. He's got it. 20. 10. He's got it. End zone. Touchdown. Right. There are no flags on the field. It's a miracle.
Sports Radio is the greatest sports talk shows in the business. The dynamic duo, your hosts, John and Tell and Daniel Mercado.
What's going on, everybody? We are headed towards the end of February. It is February 24th. You're listening here on HamiltonRadio.net, simulcast on Facebook, and somewhere on the Instagram as we're trying to figure it out, and soon to be on Spotify. These are your boys from My Sports Radio, John and Tell, and Daniel Mercado. What's up, kid?
What's going on, brother? Another wild Wednesday, and I can't wait to get into it. We're going to be going over the quarterback carousel and all things sports right now.
Listen, we have a lot to get into.
A ton.
It's going to be a huge show.
Huge.
We have more quarterback dominoes falling.
All over the place.
We have
It's bananas.
We have baseball on the horizon.
Around the corner. I can smell it.
Major accident with one of the legends,
Man, prayers up.
living legends right now with Tiger Woods.
Prayers up. Tiger Woods. Prayers up, man.
Hockey,
We got to get into the hockey.
basketball.
We can touch on it.
Yeah, not happy.
They're soft because I'm gonna go on a rant. Let's save that for last because I'm gonna lose my mind.
Okay. And I do have another little topic that I want to bring up.
Oh,
Something
sprinkle a little something special.
something a little fun, some possible landing spots for Watson. And I also want to talk about a question that was brought up to me by a listener. And he messaged me before and said, what do you think about this? And I said, you know what? That's a great topic to bring up on today's show. So with that being said, I want to roll right now
Let's do it.
into the quarterback carousel, and I want to start with the Carson Wentz move, brother.
Oh man, and we called this weeks and weeks ago. The reunion of Frank Reich and Carson Wentz has disrupted this quarterback carousel, but it's let us know that anything is possible any given Sunday. And we got a few more weeks, about 6 more weeks before we start getting into real draft talk and not these Fugazi mocks that everybody's doing. Fugazi!
I agree with you. Terry Simons, what's going on? Jamil Nazario, what's going on? Big Pat Langston,
What's going on, fellas?
Thank you for listening here on Simulcast. So I think the Carson Wentz deal, home run for the Colts. Home run, bro.
Home run?
They gave up a bag of peanuts,
Absolutely.
stale bag of peanuts.
Half chewed.
The Eagles, is there any team, there's a few teams we're going to talk about, but has anyone messed up their franchise quarterback more than the Philadelphia Eagles?
No one, not a one of the 32 teams. You can bring in other sports and start adding other teams of people who mess up stuff. You can include the Knicks, Mets, and Jets, and even the Rangers and the Islanders with messing up their team. Because I tell you what, the Rangers aren't doing so well with that coaching system either. But, man, has anybody ever destroyed a quarterback worse than them? No. And the Jets are really good at it, and I've been watching them for the past 20 years. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. And recently, in recent weeks, it seems he reached out to his number 1 wide receiver, Michael Pittman, because he's number 11. So as a welcome, Michael Pittman said, "No, I'm not giving up my jersey. I don't think there's any trade that's going to be done for this jersey." And, Carson Wentz responded. You know what? He seemed like he was locked in on that number, so I wasn't really going to press him for it. I don't think it was that. I don't think he got a warm welcome there. And he is a broken man, I'll be honest with you. This quarterback is going from getting hurt, having a close to MVP season, then getting hurt, and his backup winning the Super Bowl.
Carson Wentz, to me, I don't think I've ever seen it in my time. More big-name QBs signed and then either let go or traded. Bro, Carson Wentz signed to a mega deal.
Huge.
Traded. Jared Goff signed to a mega deal. Traded. Deshaun Watson signed to a mega deal. Probably will get traded. Dak Prescott looking for a mega deal and about to get franchise tag for the second time, earning him $38 million, either getting traded or possibly sitting out.
Absolutely.
Have you ever seen Sam Darnold, possible franchise quarterback for the Jets?
But it's not like they paid. I understand why you're including him in the carousel, but it's not like they paid him. The guys we're talking about, John, they paid this guy, Carson Wentz, like he was the number one quarterback in the league.
Facts.
After coming back. And then, it shows how disorganized this disorganization is of the Eagles. And I'll be honest with you, some of our friends are Eagles fans, like John Breckel last night. I feel bad for him.
Terrible.
You know what I mean? And I'm a Jet fan. But I'll be honest with you, they took this guy, abused him, then paid him all the money, every last red cent, and then sent them on their way for peanuts, as you mentioned. That tells me that they first did not know what they were doing to begin with. Then, just because a quarterback played well, and you can put him in a list of other top quarterbacks that he got paid more than at the moment. I mean, he kind of set the bar for the rest of the guys. Great. Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, as far as contract-wise, everybody was like, hey, listen, if you're going to pay that guy, you got to pay me.
Yep.
But I'll be honest with you. What'd you pay? What'd you do? All you did was ruin the NFL. You ruined it for 31 other teams because now you got to give this guy away. You're giving him away for nothing. It just shows you had no organization and no idea what you were doing to begin with because you paid him all the money and then you give him away for nothing. What are you doing?
It's crazy.
And look what they get for Goff, right? Matt Stafford, a huge haul.
Yep.
And Goff, a
And
serviceable quarterback.
So now I have a question. Let me ask you.
Talk to me, Goose.
Seriously. So
Now, when you say seriously, it's usually a loaded question after that. So let's temper that.
yeah. Okay. Sorry. So I'll try and keep it to like one question per the 10 question. So
Am I filling out a questionnaire?
yeah, please. So we're seeing now a lot of players. We see the NBA sort of dictating where they go, right? We're seeing this a lot. The players now deciding the outcome of what happens with their career.
Not just their career, a whole franchise.
Correct. We never saw that in the NFL. Is this about to start a new trend in the NFL? And by the way, do you agree with the trend or no?
I don't agree with the trend.
Okay.
Second, you mentioned, and I want to touch on it. Let's talk about that Deshaun Watson. I think he doesn't get traded. I think he may want to sit out. Whether he sits out is a decision between him and his camp. But I don't think he's going anywhere. I think Houston's got him for another year before they absolutely have to give him away, whether he's happy or not. So whether he sits out will be on him, and it'll be a show of his character as well. So the next team, whoever takes him, is going to know if he's just, being a pouty baby, or does he have a legit reason why he doesn't want to be there? And the things that have shown us that quarterback doesn't want to be there and why he's not happy. Even the president of the organization has left, right? So you got a lot of things going on wrong there, but he has an opportunity to rebuild along with them, and he just doesn't want to be there. If he's not going to be there, then what's he going to do somewhere else? Again, we spoke about it. And you made a joke about last night, right? So a couple of guys asked me last night, you know what, Dan? I want to get your opinion. You're a big Jets fan. Should the Jets move on from Sam Darnold?
Yep.
Should the Jets move on from Sam Darnold is not the question. What are the Jets going to do to maintain close games to try to give, whether it's Darnold or a rookie quarterback that they draft, some room to be able to pick up a game and try to make it a win? You lose a lot of games by over 10 points in the previous season. with Sam Darnold healthy. When he's healthy, he still doesn't win more than 50% of his games. So that tells me the Jets are probably ready to move on from him. Do I think he should go? I think the Jets need to build their line, maybe trade down, still get some draft picks. But it's not about Sam Darnold. It's about the team. And it's about putting yourself in a position to win. Whether it's with another quarterback, whether it's with this new coach, or moving on from Sam Darnold, whoever it is, you still got to build the pieces around him. I think even if you give Sam Darnold all the pieces he needs, I don't think he becomes more than a 8-8 player.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
So he doesn't have what it takes.
I think he's a serviceable quarterback. But you look at what happened to Sanchez. Same thing happened. He was a serviceable quarterback. We had a strong defense, strong offensive line. We had Brick, right? DeBrickashaw Ferguson holding down that line, and a bunch of strong players. I could go down the list, but that's neither here nor there. The idea is you got to have a stout defense, which the Jets have a good defensive line, but unless C.J. Mosley comes back, and now he's a year out of playing, is he going to be in shape? Is he going to be out of shape? Who knows what's going to happen and what kind of C.J. Mosley they're going to get back.
Okay.
Right? You don't want the Pet Cemetery C.J. Mosley, right? The zombie walking around. You want a guy that's on fire, ready? Yeah, absolutely. You want a guy that's on fire, that's ready to plug those holes, right? Ready to cover, jump into coverage when he needs to, ready to be the quarterback of that defense, right? But if he's not there, or if he's not the same, or if he's lost a step, it's still going to put the Jets in a pregnable position.
I didn't want to stop. I know how it feels, right? I didn't want to stop your rant. I think the initial question was, are you a fan of the people in football dictating? But this lets our fans know how deep of a love and passion you have for the Jets.
Absolutely.
And I'm sorry, because loving the Jets has to be a perpetual slicing of your fingertip, right?
Absolutely. I've got no fingers left.
Like no matter what, you're just somehow slicing.
And starting off with one crooked.
Yeah, that's a very crooked fingertip.
Crooked.
Stop sitting on it.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to say, for me personally, I think it's a joke that a player gets money and doesn't even bother to try and carry out. I'm all in favor of big name players, franchise players making their franchises better, not franchise players signing franchise deals and then crying
Creating
worth
disruption.
of franchise money.
Divisiveness.
Because the fact is, Deshaun Watson sits up there. I got Deshaun Jackson on mine. Deshaun Watson sits up there, gets a major contract, says thank you to the ownership. He's blessed, blah, blah, blah. 2 years later, he's not involved in the head coaching vacancy, cries. Not involved in the GM vacancy, cries. And you're making $40 million a year and finding a way to cry about why you're not involved. My man, you were just paid
Facts.
the most money in the NFL except for Patrick Mahomes. And with all due respect, nobody is Patrick Mahomes. So now I ask you, these players that are talking their way out of town, when does it stop? Now, I've been in favor. I've told everyone this from the beginning of time. For me, when a player, I'm all in favor of the owners having all of the leeway. And the reason why is because they built the stadium. They funnel their own money into it. They have all of the risk. Because players say they risk their lives, their livelihood, whatever the case may be. The fact is this.
They made the choice.
You go to college getting a scholarship. You're not paying for education that some people would literally die for, okay? For free. You're going to the NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, based on a skill set that kids play. You're going there and making money that you, your kid, and your kid's kid can retire on. And then you have the audacity to say, I should have more say in what you do. Bro, they pay you the money that enables you to live a very special life. Now, should you have open communication when you make $40 million a year with the ownership?
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You should be on the horn, texting him and giving him ideas. Should the owner be mindful of his most expensive commodity? Absolutely. He should look at the text and say, hey, Deshaun, I love it. Give me the reasons why you'd want this guy. Let me know. Not because you think he's good for you, but is he good for the 53 men on the roster? Is he going to only make you Michael Jordan, or is he going to lift the entire roster? Because you feel better about him doesn't mean the defense will like him, doesn't mean the offensive line will like him, doesn't mean your running back will like him, doesn't mean that the other coaches will like him. So the fact is, it can't always be me. And I'm tired of these athletes. I said it on the last show. I'm tired of Aaron Rodgers going on the news and talking about, oh, I don't know. It's a beautiful mystery. Take your beautiful mystery and shove it, bro. And I'm so tired of Deshaun Watson. I'm so tired
You
of
really
Carson
got a hard
Wentz.
on. You really got a hard on for Aaron Rodgers,
Dude,
man.
because I'm tired of it. Because these guys,
Who do you hate more, John? Aaron Rodgers or Blake Snell?
No, Blake Snell. I want to fight
All
him.
day? That's all day?
No, I want to fight Blake Snell.
You want to fight?
I don't want to fight Aaron Rodgers. I want to fight Blake Snell.
Why don't you want to fight Aaron Rodgers?
Because to me, Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers is great, okay?
Just so you know, you're not fighting either one of them.
I know, but listen to what I'm saying. Aaron
got my
Rodgers,
money on both of them.
Aaron Rodgers is phenomenal. He's one of the greatest to do it.
I tell you what, if you get into a fight with him or you piss him off and he's in like within a foot of a football, you ain't running nowhere.
No, I mean he's gonna hit me with the football,
Like a laser.
But all I'm saying is that he's one of those guys that he's done it. Blake Snell is a nobody. Blake Snell is a walking trash can. Blake Snell, to me, is a useless pile of skin, tendons, muscle, blood. I'm telling you right now, I'm out on that guy.
So before we both go off the rails here, all right. So going back to answer your question, you wanted me to answer the question.
Yes.
The reason I was trying to get to that point and why I was talking about, Sam Darnold and the Deshaun Watson, because the Jets were primarily a trade target that he had mentioned to his team, and they were one of the number one or two or three teams that he wanted to go to.
Okay.
Now the reason I brought him up is because I don't think Deshaun Watson. Your question you asked me is if they start making a trend. I don't think it's going to be a trend because I don't think Watson's going to get traded. I think Watson's going to stay there, and may he complain, but I don't think he's going to get his way, and I don't think a trend will continue.
What to you warrants enough players to be a trend? What to you warrants it? And the reason why I ask that is because Stafford quietly asked for his send off. They traded him.
Right.
Carson Wentz asked for it. They traded him. Deshaun Watson is now in the same position, right? And whether or not they try and do it, whatever
But
the
those
case
first
may
two quarterbacks are quarterbacks that are on teams that are of historical dismay. Right? And I know the Eagles had. Well, listen, the Eagles won a Super Bowl. It's rememberable a few years back, but let's look at before that. Okay. Where were they going? Right, their biggest game of the year is their rivalry with the Giants or their rivalry with the Dallas Cowboys. Other than that, they don't have any other big games. They don't have any other important games. They don't do anything else. They got to the Super Bowl 1 year, and then completely went off the rails.
Okay.
Right. So those two teams come at those two quarterbacks. It's understandable, right? The team is doing poorly. They're doing better without you in the game. You see, you don't fit. It's almost a mutual parting of ways, as opposed to Deshaun Watson being a top 5 rated quarterback, as everyone's quoting him, which and deservedly so. But when you're playing from behind, your quarterback's numbers, and John, you can attest to this because we saw Dak Prescott's numbers go out the roof, and the trend that he was on a losing team, below 500 and always trailing, it's going to boost the quarterback's numbers. So I'm not taking any skill set away from Deshaun Watson, but I don't think that he's in the position of power that he's promoting himself to be in. I think he's gonna lose that weigh scale, I guess. I mean, the transition of power is going to go to the team.
Okay.
I think the Texans will do as they will, and if they do make a trade, they are going to get a haul for him. But
I mean,
again,
they
I think there's going to be. Listen, should they? If you got an unhappy quarterback, yeah, I mean, get rid of him because he's just going to cause cancer in the locker room.
I mean, you can't.
Any player.
You can't settle. The thing of it is,
Right.
is you know firsthand. You know firsthand what it's like to not be able to find a franchise quarterback. You know that as a Jets fan, right?
Absolutely.
And by the way, it's not just you. Every organization outside of the Green Bay Packers and the Steelers, because both franchises somehow seem to stumble on franchise quarterbacks, where the Pittsburgh Steelers will have Bradshaw, and even though people will say Neil O'Donnell was not their franchise quarterback, he brought him to a Super Bowl, and then Roethlisberger, right? So some organizations, and the Green Bay Packers went from Bart Starr, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers. So some organizations just have it. The Jets and even the Cowboys, by the way, listen, White, Staubach, Aikman, okay?
Right.
Tony Romo, but he didn't win a championship. And then to Dak Prescott, and they've had luck with quarterbacks, but at one point we were marching Quincy Carter out there. The fact of the matter is there are teams that really struggle with this, and the Jets, we talk about Namath being that guy. I feel as though Chad Pennington was the last franchise quarterback you had, personally, was the only franchise quarterback you had. That's how I feel.
Legit quarterback.
Yes.
Yeah. And him, I got to tell you that he's probably one of my favorite Jets of all time. Chad Pennington. He was smart, but man, again, play schemes show his limit in arm. No, everybody
Absolutely.
knew he could not throw farther than 15 yards.
No, he was a very accurate short passer under 40 yards. He was not the deep ball guy, but
Strong defense held us down.
game manager.
That's right.
And it wasn't bad. You had some nice pieces, you had some nice teams. So now the thing is you know how difficult it is to get that quarterback. The fact of the matter is the Texans better get a king's ransom for him, because it is not going to happen again so soon. You don't have turnover. It's rare. So it's either you strike while the iron's hot right now or not. And I don't know, can we talk about how bad has any city been hit worse than Houston in sports? Bro, the Houston Texans are about to lose Watson, and they lost J.J. Watt. The Astros just lost George Springer.
And coming off of the scandal.
The Rockets just lost Harden. And do we have hockey? They're not really whatever. They're fine.
I mean, they're not really going anywhere, but
No, but they're all right, though.
yeah.
There ain't anything going on.
But there's no special player that's been lost that's going to cost them their
And-
franchise. Yeah, I agreed.
And listen, and Tom also makes a good point. Look at what happened to Denver since the Elway era, and it's true. I mean, that's the thing about it, man. People really don't understand. It took them to sign a quarterback in Peyton Manning coming off neck surgery, hoping he had a couple years left in the tank, which he did.
Right.
But outside of that, who they have? Jay Cutler. I mean, but seriously, though, Jay Cutler was there earlier on, and Brandon Marshall, and it was a nice combination, and he did a couple things, but Jay Cutler never wanted to really play the game competitively. You saw him, any place he went, he was like, whatever, right? So you see what it's like to not have a franchise quarterback.
He chose to sit out in a playoff game.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a loser mentality.
It is.
It's sad that's the Bears. I mean, claim to fame in the past probably decade and a half.
I mean, I would say other than because Jay Cutler was also in Chicago, the Bears are also a team. The Bears are also a team that really hasn't had a franchise quarterback. Like Jim McMahon, when they won those championships, they only won them because their defense was ridiculous and Walter Payton was out of his mind.
Absolutely.
So there really isn't going down the list and looking through, like just looking at some of these franchises, you can see, and this is exactly why they don't win championships. The Chiefs never had a franchise quarterback until Patrick Mahomes, and he won a championship. You're not calling Alex Smith the franchise quarterback, right?
No.
Okay. So going down the list, the Patriots, Tom Brady, they won championships. The Buffalo Bills, think about this. The Buffalo Bills had Jim Kelly and went to 4 and still couldn't win with a franchise quarterback.
Yep.
The Jets never really had one.
Not only did they have the franchise quarterback, the Bills, but they had.
They had
the
a
Thurman
franchise.
Thomas. They had the whole
Thomas,
squad.
Bruce Smith,
Yeah.
BB,
Bananas.
what's his name? Andre Reed. No, they had everything there. Baltimore Ravens, they thought they had one in Joe Flacco, right? Never showed up again. And since then, by the way, where are we? Cincinnati Bengals with Boomer Esiason.
Yep.
The Browns have gone through 48 starting quarterbacks.
Oh my gosh.
The Colts, with their franchise, they had Peyton Manning. They won a championship with Peyton. They switched it over to Luck. Luck looked like he was going to be the guy, but since Luck, they're just signing guys, right? Jacoby Brissett, Phillip Rivers,
Fill-ins.
now Carson. They're hoping.
Band-Aids everywhere.
Okay, Tennessee Titans. The last guy other than Steve McNair was who? Matt Schaub? Was Matt Schaub? No, he was at the Texans. So nobody.
Yeah, Matt Schaub was with the Texans.
So the Raiders were Stabler. And then what? Gannon?
Rich Gannon.
But you see what I'm saying, though? There's so few far in between.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the Chargers, Dan Fouts.
You make a great point.
Who else? Nobody. The Washington football team. Doug Williams, and then what?
Bro, imagine had Eli Manning stayed with the Chargers.
I mean, I think the Giants win more Super Bowls with Phillip Rivers.
Absolutely.
You think so too?
I think so.
Okay. I wanted to see your take on that. I think they do. But look, the Lions, what's Stafford, but they didn't surround him with anything. There are so few teams, and you can see it in the history of these teams. The reason why they don't win is because the quarterback position is abysmal. The Cardinals.
All right, so let's go back to the Lions real quick.
Sure.
So you wanted to talk about Stafford. All right, so I got a lot of respect for Stafford for his grittiness and playing through injuries and that everything commendable. Great stats, throws a strong ball with a strong arm and he can launch it deep. But let's remember, even when he had Megatron, they still went nowhere.
Correct.
They had Megatron, they had a fair running game, and they still went nowhere.
No.
So I
Don't
can't
say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. That's false. That's 100. I have
Where
to
did they
stop.
go?
No, but I have to stop you there. They've never, since Sanders, had a strong running game. I think the other day I read they've had 16 starting running backs since Sanders. 16 running backs they've drafted. They've never.
I'm not saying that they had like an all-star running back cast. I'm saying they had a fair running game where they could open it up and throw it, but they chose to throw the ball 100 times because they had Megatron.
In a 4-year
still
span,
didn't go anywhere.
in a 4-year span, they drafted in a first round 3 wide receivers in the first round. You got to understand that a team that's run like that, this is what the Cowboys are doing. You trade for Amari, right? You
Right.
draft Gallup, then you draft CeeDee Lamb.
But they're assuming your running back's not going to fumble the ball 3 times a game.
No, but okay, but I'm just saying you can equate well-run organizations to wins, right?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So, and a well-run organization starts in the draft war room. Am I right or wrong? The scouting team is on point. Why are
Talent
these-
evaluation.
Talent evaluation. Why are these teams so bad? How are you evaluating How are you evaluating draft picks in this way? How are you constantly signing the wrong player and not signing the right one? How are you constantly putting yourself behind the 8 ball? The fact of the matter is teams that are run poorly will always somehow make the worst move, a bad move. And that's what I'm talking about with these franchises as I go down that list. Before Kyler Murray, they drafted Josh Rosen. Bro, they drafted Josh Rosen
Wow.
in the first round, and then the next year drafted Murray. How
Horrible.
bad does your organization have to be to have that happen?
Absolutely abysmal.
Okay. The Seahawks. The Seahawks had Matt Hasselbeck, which did well, right? Matt Hasselbeck was actually a formidable quarterback. Then they went to Russell Wilson in the 3rd round, and he's been every bit of a great playmaker, right? One of the
Steal.
greats. Okay, steal.
3rd round steal.
Okay. Let's talk about the Bucks. In the Bucks' history, they have 2 Super Bowls. They're 2 for 2. The last time they won the Super Bowl, they had Brad Johnson, but their defense was ridiculous.
Yep.
Simeon Rice, Brooks, Jackson, Barber,
Yep.
Right?
Rondé.
Ro-
Yep.
Warren Sapp in the middle. Their
Beast. Absolute beast. Warren
Their
Sapp.
defense was ridiculous. They had, what was it? Was it 4 or 5 interceptions? 4 in that game. No, sorry, 5 because what's his name had 3 and the other one had 2. They had 5 interceptions.
Didn't a lineman have an interception too?
Maybe it was
one of those
6
tip catches,
but
yeah.
they beat them 55 to whatever it was.
Yep.
So the fact of the matter is, until they got another franchise quarterback with the Bucks, which they haven't had until Tom Brady, they didn't win.
Facts.
Okay, the Saints. Drew Brees, give me the last franchise quarterback.
Wow.
Archie Manning.
Yep.
Okay. The Falcons went
What was
to
that, 1970?
the 70s, yeah, 80s, but the Falcons went to the Super Bowl with Matt Ryan,
Yep.
the quarterback before that. Go ahead. Michael Vick, but Michael Vick was not a franchise quarterback. He couldn't get the job done because he couldn't throw the ball, and he was too busy fighting pit bulls. The guy before that, who led them to a
really
Super
fighting
Bowl,
pit bulls.
who was he?
Jail.
Chandler, Chris Chandler.
Yep.
But Chris Chandler also had Jamal Anderson. He also had Andre Rison. He also had Jesse Tuggle. He also had Deion Sanders. He also had these guys, these playmakers,
Shutdown
right?
corner.
Okay. Carolina Panthers.
It sounds like they all had more than one key on defense.
Okay. But no franchise quarterbacks that could consistently do it. And what it tells me is teams will focus more resources and energy on position players that don't matter than the franchise quarterback position. And that's what bothers me. So the Jets, they draft Mark Sanchez. I'm a USC fan. Mark Sanchez started 9 games in college.
Yep.
Come on, bro.
He was a backup.
Bro, Mark Sanchez
He was a
starts
fill-in. They played well. He got drafted.
Mark Sanchez, 9?
Ninth-
Bro,
ninth.
the only QB at a USC that's ever been worth a damn has been Carson Palmer, who had a nice career until what's his name from the Steelers took him out in the playoff game, right? And that was it. But the fact of the matter is Matt Leinart, are you kidding me?
He was a joke.
Scrub City,
Absolute joke.
right? Now you're talking Sam Darnold, and Sam Darnold also 9 or 10 games, and he's drafted with all the arm potential. But this is what I'm talking about. The Chicago Bears, there's no resources, bro. The last guy to lead them to the promised land was Rex Grossman. Bro, how do you
Sad.
not draft
Sad.
another quarterback?
Sad.
How can you not focus more resources on the QB position to come up with something better than Rex Grossman?
And I don't know how they put all their money on Trubisky. Like you make a trade
9
for
games,
Khalil
UNC.
Mack.
9 games, UNC.
You trade the house for Khalil Mack, right? And then a disgruntled player on the Oakland Raiders, and then you put nothing on the offense.
It's
Nothing.
terrible.
And previously, when they had like the years they had Devin Hester and they had a really strong defense, when you're good in 2/3 of the field, you know what I mean, special teams and defense, great. Maybe you can win close games. But what are you doing, Rex Grossman, Jay Cutler? You got to get better talent evaluation.
It's got to happen. I'm hearing, though, by the way, it looks like the Vegas odds for the favorite for Deshaun Watson is the Denver Broncos. How do you feel about that fit?
I called it 2 weeks ago.
That's the Vegas odds.
Yep.
How do you feel about that fit?
I like it. And I don't know if it's the best fit because then they're going to have to. All right, so Denver's got how many picks in the first round? They have 2, I believe. Do they have 2 picks in the first round?
I'll find out right now.
All right, you look that up. All right, so
I'll
we're going to go over this. All right, so if they got a pick in the first round, they're going to give that up if they get Watson, right?
Yep.
So that's already gone. Who's he throwing to? So you get Deshaun Watson.
Whoa,
you have a
no,
fair defense.
no.
Who's he going to? Who's he going to?
Denver's got nice pieces over there, bro.
All right. Noah Fant.
What's his name? Hamler. Is it Hamler or Hamler?
Hamler?
I'm gonna look. No, but he's actually nice. Cortland Sutton's a stud.
Yeah, but he's coming off an injury.
I'm just saying.
And he's coming off a massive injury. How are you going to get again? Are you going to get the same
and
Cortland
Judy
Sutton back?
and Judy?
All right, so you got Jerry Judy. All right, so I'll give you Fant and Judy. So he gets a quarterback. They get a quarterback. They become a one-dimensional team still. Who's their running back?
Melvin Gordon and Philip Lindsay. That's a nice tandem. That's a great tandem.
So you
Melvin Gordon and Lindsay, bro.
So you think
Jerry
they're keeping
Judy,
the- you
KJ
think-
Hamler, and Cortland Sutton, Noah Fant, very very young receiving core. I like that receiving core a lot, buddy.
all right, so he goes there. Do you think that makes him a contender?
I like. By the way,
Let's look at the rest of the teams that are in their division.
okay, what I think Denver needs to do, truthfully,
Because not all those pieces that you named are going to be there if they have to pay Deshaun Watson.
but they're all rookies, bro. Sutton's in his third year, and KJ and
So you
and Judy are rookies.
So you're franchising Judy? I mean, franchise? No, not Judy.
Why would you franchise anybody?
I mean,
you don't need to do anything for another
2 years. For
Sutton's
another
2
2
years,
years.
and the other guys are 4.
I feel like 2020 was like everybody
3.
forgot about that year.
You're locked in for three years, easy, bro. Even if one in the next 2 years is gone, you have a nice setup. I actually like Denver a lot. I'll tell you what Denver needs to do.
I mean, they're the one team that we mentioned a couple weeks ago that needs a quarterback.
Von Miller's got to go.
There you go. That's the piece they're going to give up.
Von Miller's got to go.
But a dynamic player like Von Miller, losing him on your defense changes your entire defensive scheme.
But I understand. But
Because he's a game changer.
But let me ask you a question. We do have a phone call. Just give us a second, real quick. Let's get through this point, and then we will definitely bring that phone call on for us. No doubt
Absolutely.
about it.
Hit me.
D-line can get the job done. Bradley Chubb is looking great.
He
looked
does. He
phenomenal
does
this
look
year.
good.
Okay.
He does look good.
They have Kareem Jackson, looks good. Justin Simmons has nice potential. Oh, no, he does. Okay. They need some more linebacking core. They need to trade Von Miller. And once you solidify, tell me you wouldn't want a team. Deshaun Watson, Philip Lindsay and Gordon, Jerry Judy, Cortland Sutton. That's a ridiculous offense. The best offense in
Gordon's
football
got
right
an
now.
option this year, right? At the end of this year?
I would think the best offense in football. You tell me if I'm wrong, but they were putting up the numbers before the injuries. Got to be the Dallas Cowboys. When Zeke Elliott doesn't fumble, he was the 2-time
if.
rushing leader. No, I'm asking you what if. We're playing
No,
the what
no,
if
I
game.
got you. All right.
He leads the league in rushing 2 years. Amari Cooper, Gallup, and Lamb. Schultz as your tight end, he was phenomenal. Dak Prescott
I wouldn't say
was on
phenomenal.
pace to throw 6,000 yards.
Yeah,
Now-
that was bananas.
Okay, now I ask you from top to bottom. Other than the Chiefs, by the way, it's Mahomes, hands down, champion. Then Tyreek Hill, and then Travis Kelce.
Kelsey.
Okay, McCall Hardman, hit or miss. Sammy Watkins
Boomer
is not
bust.
going to be on that team.
Definitely worn out.
So then I ask you, Damian Williams, whatever. So then I ask you, outside of that, what other offense in the league do you want? Seriously, off the top of your head, what offense strikes you as dynamic?
Offense that strikes me as dynamic.
Yes.
All right.
You can't, I mean, the Packers' big three of Aaron Jones fumbled 3 times in the playoffs.
All right. So you're asking me
I'm just asking
who's
you.
no, real quick. So who's the other team that's dynamic as Denver looks that needs a quarterback?
Correct.
Probably no other. Or you could possibly go Chargers, but I think they got
Nah.
Justin Herbert.
No. Justin Herbert's come on, stop.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Other than Justin Herbert,
Stud. Stop. That was
Denver.
embarrassing. That was embarrassing. I love it.
What's
That was-
embarrassing?
It's embarrassing.
You're
you even
terrible.
Said that. It was even the fact you even said the team name is ridiculous. I have to. I'm sitting by. Okay, we can let the caller on before I
You're
rock
such a
rock
douche.
bottom my co-host.
Yeah, okay.
Who's on the radio
You got to
with
be a
us?
little taller than that. You need to be this tall to ride this
Yo,
ride.
it's Big Pat, and I got a beef to pick with Daniel Mercado right now.
I love it. Go
What's
ahead.
up, Big
bro.
Pat?
Mike,
Bring it
by
on.
By the way, Mike
Bro.
is yours.
Bro, Daniel Mercado, how you going to say if we get Deshaun Watson, the Denver Broncos are one-dimensional? Have you not watched what Cortland Sutton can do? Did you not watch Jerry Jeudy route running this year? Did you not see the absolute speed of KJ Hamler? Do you not know the explosiveness coming out of the backfield of Philip Lindsay? Do you not know about the left tackle that was graded the highest in all the NFL and Garrett Bowles having a great season, and Melvin Gordon to put a little icing on top of the cake? If Deshaun Watson ends up in a Denver Broncos uniform with the current offense that he is around, the Denver Broncos, mark my words, will give the Kansas City Chiefs a run for their money for that division title.
All right,
100%.
so do you think? All right, so let's say, because you're again playing the what if. We're playing the what if game, then it sounds great. But again, which Cortland Sutton are you getting back? And then when Jerry Jeudy gets double teamed, what are we doing?
Okay.
Okay, so when Jerry Jeudy gets double teamed, you leave Noah Fant, Cortland Sutton, and KJ Hamler on islands. You're telling me a team has that many corners that they can lock down one-on-one, Sutton, Fant, and KJ Hamler.
I agree.
A healthy
You're telling me.
a healthy Sutton that's a different story.
Even
But
without a healthy Sutton, I still think they're better.
all right, well, then why weren't they better last year? Because of the difference in quarterback? Because Drew Lock?
You tell me, Mister. You tell me, Mister. I don't have a franchise quarterback. What's the difference?
Well, listen, but that doesn't mean that they're going to get him, and it doesn't mean that's again. This is we're playing what if.
But your what if is based on the fact that you've been evaluating a carousel of quarterbacks with the New York Jets. Your what if is the equivalent of me telling you what if Troy Aikman still played quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm letting you know right now what Pat's saying.
Don't bring
I
up the
agree with
Cowboys.
wholeheartedly. And by the way, even without Cortland Sutton, I still think the weapons they have around him are good enough to do it. Pat, bro, when you call with this fire, dude, I just want to say that I appreciate this phone call, brother. Thank you
Absolutely,
very
we
much.
appreciate your phone call, Pat. You the man, brother.
Wow. Hey, anytime, guys. Anytime. I just had to come in, put my 2 cents in, tell Daniel Mercado, what are you saying? What are you doing? And then I'm good. I'm out. Be out. Boys out.
Peace, brother. I
Big
appreciate
Pat.
you.
But listen, though, and Tom, another thing, Tom actually makes another great point. How many dudes now come back from knee injuries better? By the way, the surgery, my friend, I don't know if you saw a guy named Alex Smith who had his leg ripped off his body and it was holding on just by skin, and he came back and played quarterback. And by the way, he was the single-handed reason why they were in playoff contention. And even though that division was atrocious, he played well enough to put them in position. And by the way, I actually believe they would have beat the Buccaneers if he was healthy. That's how I feel.
Wow.
That's a hot take.
Wow.
That's how I feel.
Hot take.
So I'm just telling you, the fact of the matter is the quarterback
What I'm
position
what I'm
is the
disag-
single most important position
What I'm
in
disagreeing
all
with-
of sports.
Yeah, absolutely. But what I'm disagreeing with is that you put Deshaun Watson on that team and they're like Super Bowl winners. Everybody's, nominating them for the
talking
Super Bowl.
contenders.
I don't think so.
We're talking contenders.
I still don't think so.
There's 10 contenders. Why can't I call him a contender?
There can be a contender.
You last year told me the
But
Jets
I don't think they're
were
going to.
playoff
The way you
contenders.
guys are making it seem that they're gonna win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
They're gonna give the Chiefs a run for their money. I still don't think so.
Bro, at one point you told me the Jets were playoff contenders.
It was the
If
first
you
show I was on,
tell
and that
me
was in
the
August. It
Jets
was
are
like
playoff
preseason,
contenders,
bro.
I can tell you whoever I want to tell you is a playoff contender. I can tell you that I can march.
Jets are in a good position
I
now.
can march the Dallas Ray Charles onto the field and be contenders.
If they make the right decisions this year, what if, right? If they make the right decisions, Jets can be contenders too.
Stop.
Bro, come on.
You're sick in the head.
I am.
It's incredible the fact that
It was on the resume.
It's a fact that somebody can't say that with Deshaun Watson, arguably a top 3 quarterback in the league. By the way, looking through the league, he's top 3 because we can go down the list. Out of the AFC East, there's no one on the Patriots. There's nobody on the Jets. Tua, he's not better than him.
Nope.
Josh Allen's, he's there. He's top
getting
5.
there. He's
okay.
getting there.
Lamar Jackson, nope.
He's in the top 10, I think, but
Top 10, but
not
not
top
top-
5.
okay.
Not top 5. Agreed.
Joe Burrow, I feel has it, but he'll come back from. Baker Mayfield's not.
I think they're probably the best contender to be to go from worst to first.
Here we go again with the contenders. The Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield, right? We talked about it. The Pittsburgh
Right.
Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger, nope.
I think
Texans, he's out.
I think that Baker Mayfield point though depends on where OBJ goes. If he stays, then I mean it could give him a big boost.
Okay, but just going through it. Tannehill,
Mm-hmm.
nope. There's no quarterback in Jacksonville right now. Carson Wentz, nope. Denver Broncos don't have one. Patrick Mahomes, number 1.
Right.
The Raiders, no top 10 QB. Herbert, possibly this upcoming year. Let's see what happens. The Dallas Cowboys, currently, nope. The Giants, nope. The Eagles, nope. Washington, nope. Bears, nope. Lions, nope. Packers, Rodgers. Vikings, nope. Matt Ryan, nope. Carolina, nope. Saints, Breeze. Buccaneers, Brady.
Breeze if he stays. If
Cardinals?
not, then they got no quarterback either.
Cardinals, Kyler Murray. And then the Rams with Stafford, who I love, but let's see what he does with
Yeah,
his.
you got to
Okay.
take that with a grain of salt.
The 49ers with Garoppolo, nope. And the Seahawks with Russell Wilson. So I have him top 5 with Watson. So you put a top 5 quarterback on a Denver Broncos team, bro, all day.
But let me ask you.
Ask me.
So
anything you
why
want.
when he had Kenny Stills, he had Brandon Cooks,
Kenny Stills?
He had no. I'm just saying he had somebody to take it off the top. He had somebody to come across the middle, and he had before the trade he had B-Hop, and you're still Bernard Hopkins.
Bernard Hopkins.
And he had
boxer.
What's it called? Hopkins, and everybody expected him to be the Michael Jordan of it, and he had all these receivers, and he still didn't do it.
Timeout.
So you give him all the receivers,
Timeout.
and he doesn't do it.
Timeout. Will Fuller, who his number 1 target is right now, currently, who he loves, has been in the last few years either suspended or injured. That's number 1. Okay?
Okay,
Number 2, tell me,
I'm talking about before that.
give me any run game. Give me the run game that's helping him.
So you're saying he needs a run game?
Any quarterback needs a run game. Ask
I
Dan
agree.
Marino.
I agree.
Dan Marino never had a run game. And what did it get Dan Marino? 1 Super Bowl opportunity. Dan Marino was counting on guys like Keith Byers
So
for his career.
You think the oft-injured Melvin Gordon, if he stays, again, you're playing the what-if game, so if he stays healthy, yeah, great, but he's never healthy. So if he doesn't stay healthy, you're guaranteed that Philip Lindsay's the beast?
Philip Lindsay in his first 3 years in the NFL rushed for over 1,000 yards. Absolutely. I would put Philip Lindsay in a workhorse. And by the way, Philip Lindsay catches the ball out of the backfield.
I think he catches the ball out of backfield better than he runs it.
So, okay, what other running back do we know does that we love and is on a Super Bowl contender? Alvin Kamara.
Okay.
Okay.
But
so-
Alvin Kamara runs the ball well as well.
But he doesn't run it as well as Lindsay. Look at his numbers. Lindsay's got more rushing yards.
I think that's based on scheme. You got so many weapons on the Saints. You can't compare the two.
Bro,
And Alvin Kamara is definitely way better than Philip Lindsay.
can I ask you a question? For how many different times can you actually change your narrative based on one topic?
What are you talking about?
Legitimately. I give you a reason and then you tell me scheme. I'm going to give you
Agree
another
to disagree then.
But I'm going to give you another reason with the scheme, then you're going to tell me it's a difference in milkshakes. Like, I don't understand.
Bro, you're making stuff up as you go along.
I'm
you
not
talking
making
about?
stuff up. The fact that I'm giving you facts. Philip Lindsay rushes better than Alvin Kamara, and he's a good receiver. Not the same receiver, but a good receiver.
Okay, there we go. All right, there it is. Sounds like you're backtracking now.
I'm backtracking. I'm going to look up the numbers.
All right,
Okay, I'm going to look up the numbers right now.
let's do it.
I'm doing it. Why do you tell me let's do it? I'm already on the way.
I just told you what to do, and you're doing it.
Wait, you think you're in control of this ship?
I own you.
Absolutely not.
I'm your daddy.
I've been searching for you my whole life. It's incredible. Like, here he is. Wow. Okay, so here you go. You ready?
All right, hit me.
Okay. I'm going to in a couple seconds
Oh, yeah.
with a chair.
I want to see it.
Okay.
You better pick up a chair.
First 2 seasons. 1,000 yards rushing, both seasons. Okay.
Okay.
And receiving, he had 35 catches each year, averaged just about 6 yards a catch out of the backfield.
And you're comparing him to Alvin Kamara?
Okay. Can I get to Alvin Kamara's numbers?
Bro.
Okay. Thank you. Just thanks very much.
Hey, right.
No, I mean, as long as it's okay with you, then it's fine with me.
Well, I just told you to do it, so do it.
I'm doing it. I can't
That's what I
move.
thought.
I can't move faster than the internet speed allows me to move. I mean, what do you think? I'm part of the Matrix, dude?
Bro.
Okay, so Alvin Kamara never rushed for 1,000 yards in his whole entire career of 4 years. And by the way, I love Alvin Kamara. Receiving yards, 800, 700, 500, 700. Okay, so total, his first year, 1,500 total yards. Philip Lindsay, 1,400 total yards. Very, very close, right? Philip Lindsay is more of a workhorse. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. But by the way, Alvin Kamara averages 5 yards receiving. Philip Lindsay averages 6 yards receiving. The thing about Alvin Kamara is you can actually use him as a wide receiver. That's
can
the
use him
difference.
everywhere on the field.
Because he is a beast with his hands.
They have like 5 Swiss Army knives.
Correct. So I'm letting you know that, yes, I'm taking Alvin Kamara, but do not sleep on Philip Lindsay. That's all I'm
not
saying.
I'm not saying sleep on him. I'm just saying if Melvin Gordon gets hurt, then Lindsay
Melvin
will
Gordon's the
start-
backup, though, guy.
I understand, but
How-
he's the
but
guy.
what does
He's
that
the guy to
mean?
keep your fresh legs, right? So if he's hurt and you start making Lindsay the
But who cares
absolute
if the
workhorse,
backup gets hurt?
because if Lindsay gets the absolute workhorse job, he's going to get hurt too.
But he had the workhorse the first 2 years. I don't understand. He carried the ball 200 times. Oh, that's Alvin Kamara.
Talk to you later.
It's going to be more.
Okay.
Okay. Why do I do this to myself?
I don't know.
It's ridiculous. I don't understand, bro.
I love doing this to you.
This is you give me anxiety, really. Seriously.
No. I'm reaching my goals.
I'm gonna look right now.
All right, so let's go here.
Philip Lindsay. I spelled his name the wrong way.
Yeah, I know.
Very good. Philip Lindsay. Here we go. Bang. Workhorse. Ready? 192 times, 224 times. Suck it.
All right. So Kansas City Chiefs, Denver Broncos.
Go ahead. Detective Kimball.
Yeah, I don't think.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Who is your daddy and what does he do? All right. So I still don't think he's going to stay healthy.
Okay. It's amazing how you can look at me and say,
Listen, Watson
There's
makes
a-
them a better team. Absolutely a better team. He probably makes any other team better. I'm just saying. He had wide receivers. He had weapons at Houston. And is it just the organization that's falling apart and making him worse, and that's why he doesn't want to be there, or what? I think he just failed at his job. He failed to elevate all the rest of his teammates, and make his team better. Now he's going to go to another team. He's just going to ruin it again.
you're sick.
Possibly,
No, it's true.
it's possible.
It just doesn't make any sense. The argument doesn't make any
Sometimes.
sense. Deshaun Watson, he goes there. They're a Super Bowl contender. I'm sorry. And then
See, now you're deeming them a Super Bowl contender. In the
I s-
playoffs, maybe.
I said a Super Bowl contender. There's 10 teams that have a Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah,
There's
but
10. There's 10.
You're making it seem like they're a lock to go to the Super Bowl.
Did I say that at
No.
any moment in time?
And that's all I
There's
was
a
arguing.
Super
They're
Bowl
not a
conten-
lock.
But,
That's all.
But you're not even giving them. You're not even giving a shot as a Super Bowl contender.
John, you're doing the what if game again.
Oh my God, bro! Every single team right now. Don't smile like
have to.
an a-hole. Okay?
I have to,
Bro.
Look, all right, so do they have do the Denver Broncos have a better defense than the Chargers?
What?
Do the Denver Broncos have a better defense than the Chargers?
Do the Denver Broncos have a better defense than the Chargers?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, they have a better defense than the Raiders?
The Raiders don't even have a defense.
Okay. The Raiders won 8 games last year. The Denver Broncos won 5. So Deshaun Watson, he won his team 4 games. Right?
Okay.
He won his team 4 games. Let's just take those 4 games and add them to the Denver Broncos. Right? So say they get 4 more wins. You think that wins them the division? You think they're going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs?
I think with that cast, it'll be a nice matchup.
I still don't
Really
think.
nice
Listen, they'll be a good team. I don't think they're going anywhere.
But the Kansas City Chiefs are also Super Bowl contenders. Yeah. So every year they're contending for a Super Bowl because it's realistic. So if you put Deshaun Watson on the Broncos, it's realistic they could contend for the Super Bowl.
It's possible.
With Carson Wentz
All
on
right.
the Colts, it's a possibility they could be Super Bowl contenders.
I don't think so.
Okay. With the Tennessee Titans and their run game,
I think
and
if Carson
Tannehill,
Wentz doesn't turn into a turnover machine, maybe they can make the playoffs, but they're not going to.
are the Bills Super Bowl contenders.
Yes.
But why? They can't be. They can't.
They're
beat
more
the Kansas
complete
City
team.
Chiefs.
They're already a more complete
But they
team.
can't beat the Chiefs. According to you, if you can't beat
Only
the
one
Chiefs,
other team. Only one other team, and it wasn't
Ravens
in the
can't?
same division.
the Ravens can't.
The Ravens aren't going anywhere.
The
The Ravens
Ravens-
can't beat the Chiefs when it's important.
The Ravens have no chance of beating the Chiefs.
No,
The Browns barely lost to the Chiefs. They're not a Super Bowl contender.
I think the Browns got a better shot if they get OBJ back.
So now we live in absolutes. That's it. The Chiefs, until you can
No, you're
contend
asking
with
me
the
my
Chiefs,
opinion. Listen, if you can't contend with the Chiefs, then where are you going? They have set the bar. You don't agree that they've set a bar?
Oh, they definitely have.
Well, that's what I'm saying, and they set the bar fairly high.
Why have they set the bar? Why have they set the bar? Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
Okay. Why would the Denver Broncos be able to match the bar? Deshaun Watson. I'm just saying, when you get a premier quarterback, all you're doing, now you can compare apples to apples. If you have Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, now you can have Deshaun Watson, Judy, Sutton, Lindsey, Gordon. And by the way, I still
don't
don't
think that team
want
gets it
that.
done.
I still don't want that over the Chiefs. And I'm not saying that I want that over the Chiefs. I'm saying that you can line them up on any given Sunday.
I mean, any given Sunday.
And the Broncos may play. If Patrick Mahomes gets knocked out of the game.
But what we're talking about is doing it. No, I got that. But you mean we're talking about most
If
games,
the
not,
defense
not,
doesn't show
not
up.
any given Sunday. We're not talking about just one game.
By the way, in the Super Bowl.
We're talking about a season long.
But would you rather have you said it all season. You wanted the Chiefs were winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
All
They
season.
almost did.
Okay. They have the best quarterback in football. They got some of the best QB options, whatever in football. They were without two offensive tackles, which crushed them. Patrick Mahomes was on the
Facts.
run. Okay. So Deshaun Watson
Some amazing throws.
has been hit more than any other quarterback in the last 5 years. So now I ask you, if he gets a chance to have an offensive line that can help, and he put up really good numbers last year, which he did. He had a career year. Why can't he be Patrick Mahomes? Why? He's got the arm, he's got the legs. Now he's got the options. I love Deshaun Watson.
Awesome. I think he's a talented guy. But I don't think he's going anywhere. If he goes to Denver, kudos to Denver for setting that up. And then we'll see.
All I know is if the Jets have a franchise quarterback there, okay, and the Jets' forte, the Jets' MO has been D, right? I feel like the Jets
all
have
about the
always
D.
had a stout D. Always about the D. No.
I don't know if they've always had a stout D.
No.
But they have a gritty defense. But the fact that they're on the field all day, you know what I mean, they start to wear out.
Well, okay, but that's not their fault. The defense does their job until they're worn
The
down.
secondary is abysmal.
Now.
Secondary's terrible.
But for
So
me,
defensive line, if you're talking about like in the trench, okay, yeah, I mean we stopped the run game very well, and every coach we've had has set up great scheme for it and has used their defensive line as a great stopgap. But you got no secondary.
when I watch the when I watch players offenses run and I look at certain QBs on certain teams and certain defenses with certain teams, I think to myself, like we were talking about with franchises that are well run,
Right.
the Jets to me have always stuck out as a team that has really good defenses no matter what. It's a team you're just never going to blow out. For some reason, they're going to be in the game. I don't understand why. And you can go back to all of the players that they've had throughout the years, and you just know they're going to give you fits. So the thing is if a team like the Jets get their franchise quarterback, okay,
All right.
get two more offensive linemen, because Becton looks nice and you can shift a couple pieces around to their strength, and one wide receiver that's worth half a damn. You're telling me that the Jets, with the defense they have with less pressure on the defense, and now Robert Saleh as their coach, you're telling me the Jets couldn't turn into a contender in a few years?
I didn't say that. In a few years, I told you that.
Ah,
I think they're in a great position to start that. But
But can
again,
they keep
we
up with
spoke
Patrick
about
Mahomes?
history. All right, so I don't think they can. But you saw a stout defense. Now, to your point, you saw a stout defense this year beat them in the Super Bowl, right? But is it because of just those two offensive guards? Or the tackles? I mean that were out. Is it because of their injured offensive line?
I firmly believe it was. I do. Bro,
So-
every single time Patrick Mahomes, you remember playing Tecmo Super Bowl back in the day?
So which,
You remember?
Yeah,
you remember
yeah.
the cheat code? We talked about it, where you call hike, you'd run as far as you can backwards, and then they'd throw the ball down the field, and a receiver would catch it off the screen.
Absolutely.
Okay, Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl actually looked like he
Like
was
that
playing
quarterback?
Tecmo Super Bowl. And
The
it was,
diving throw.
and bro, at one point, what I was feeling to myself was, please don't let this be the game that hurts this guy's career injury-wise. Please don't let him get a hit to the head. Please don't let him get an injured knee because a guy
The game
tackled
before,
him
it looked
low.
like he got crushed.
And
When he
that-
got rolled into that, head first into the ground.
Yeah.
That was horrendous. I thought he was down. I thought he was going to be out of the game. I thought he was going to get carted off.
But
That
that's
kid popped right up.
it scared me. So I firmly believe that any team with a good offensive line, and you know why I know that? Because the first 3 years, Dak Prescott was the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. We had the best offensive line. Zeke had 2 offensive rushing titles. And by the way, Dak threw for 3,000 yards and 20 touchdowns. Bro, I know quarterbacks. Ryan Tannehill's career has been twice as productive. So that's why I say to you, a great offensive line, you can run the ball. And by the way, you can go back to the Denver Broncos teams when Mike Shanahan was there, and every single running back that used to play in that offense ran for 1,000 yards.
So you agree with me that the Jets should trade down from 2?
I think the Jets should trade down.
I think they should trade down.
I
from
don't
2
think
as
they
well.
should. I see, because here's
But-
the thing: the Broncos have the pieces, dude. The Jets are missing.
You're
a
saying
lot.
right. That's why I said the Jets are in a good position to do so. But again, I don't think a serviceable quarterback is going to get them to. They may get in the playoffs. They may be a wild card spot there, but they're going to need a lot more than just one quarterback. We're not one quarterback away from going to Super Bowl contention.
Patrick Mahomes doesn't make them a playoff contender.
No,
The fact of the matter is they have 6 picks in the first 3 rounds,
and
by
they
the
need
way,
every single one of them.
They need every one of them. And
That's why I don't want them to trade for Deshaun Watson.
And this is where you will see. This is where you will see how your franchise is run. In that war room, those 6 picks this year will dictate your franchise's future for the next 10.
And it's going to dictate. All right, so this is one thing I thought. So if a team
hear
does
yourself?
trade for, yeah, I did. If a team like if a team like the Texans trade Deshaun Watson next year, whether he holds out or he stays there and plays it out, ends up just quieten up and you know what, let me just play and put this resume out for the other teams. I think that gives teams like the Jets and Denver a better shot to have more ammunition to make a better trade next year.
I agree.
This point, I'm going to tell you, this point was not made up by me. I'm going to give a shout out to Rock Allen. Rock Allen is a comedian that really loves sports. He's on the round table. Check out John Brecco and the round table.
Yes,
We
absolutely.
were on there last night. It was a great set of people. Trisha Finley. We had a great time. It was tons of fun, something different for us. But I want to tell you, I did speak to Rock afterwards, and he loves it. He seems to be a real sports guy. He brought this up to me because I said the Jets should not trade. They should trade down. And I was like, I think Sam Darnold's not the answer. If he stays or goes, it's neither here nor there, I don't think. Because it's whether you're weighing out whether you're gonna keep this quarterback and pay him a little something this year, whether you franchise him or whatever, and then next year maybe you get rid of him or trade him for get a second round pick for him, or you pick up this quarterback in the first round, whether it be Zach Wilson or Justin Fields, which I'm not sold on either one.
I'm not sold on him either.
Absolutely. So,
Could you answer me this question? I think you and I are on the same page with this.
yeah.
It went from Trevor Lawrence and then the rest to somehow
Somehow, yeah. Now
A
Zach
wealth
Wilson
of
is like,
QBs, but there's a
he's
wealth
the
of
best.
QBs.
Yeah, no,
Bro, they're
no.
they're
the rest of
talking
these QBs are garbage. They played against garbage defenses in their college games, in their toughest college games, and then even Justin Fields, who came from a big school and a big scheme, you know, what I mean, strong team. OSU, they're going to go out there and you're going to lose the game, the bowl game.
They're talking about 6 quarterbacks now going in the first round. All of a
No
sudden.
way. No
all
way.
of a sudden.
No way.
We have a caller on the line. Caller, who do we got with us?
Who do we got with us? Caller, you there? Welcome to My Sports Radio.
Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah.
Who do we got?
Johnny B.
Oh,
Oh,
it didn't
Butters, what's going on, baby?
It didn't sound like you. Normally, I can hear that.
I thought Big Pat was coming back for more.
Normally, I can hear that. I can hear a voice that, like, I know is going to irritate me in a couple seconds, and I didn't get that voice today.
I'm
JD.
right here.
What's
I'm right
going
next
on,
to you.
bro?
Not much, man. I'm listening to you guys. You guys are like so off the rails right now.
Bro, listen.
We didn't even get to baseball yet.
You got it. You have to understand.
Exactly.
We didn't have a show last week, right? And I was.
I had a show.
I
You
was
didn't
in
have a
the.
show.
I was in the. Yes, yeah, you did. I was in the COVID protocol quarantine, and as I came in contact with somebody, so I was stuck at the house and couldn't do anything. And you know, and DM obviously did the show, and he went. Seemed like NBA heavy, but sometimes when
Well, it was Jordan's birthday, I figured.
when you have the ceiling is the roof. Sometimes when you have a lot to say after 2 weeks, you just have to get whatever it is off your chest. And last night he actually brought it up. Daniel Mercado and I were on the round table with John Brecco and his comedy team. It's a comedy show. Pretty cool group. You know, it was very talk about off the rails. The entire show is based on like how much insulting we could do of each other, and then kind of like mixing in sports, which was pretty cool. It was very uncensored, which is different than what we normally do. So it was fun. But I realized last night that today's show was going to be just a disaster because Daniel was talking so much craziness last night, and I knew that I was just in for a fight today. Like I knew that. I knew I was
coming.
I was putting on my hard hat and I was coming into work and I was punching in the time clock, and at the end of the fight, somehow I was probably going to hit him with a people's elbow. Something was going to happen because
No way
he
you're
was
dropping a
so
people's
off
elbow.
the rails last night, and I knew it was going to carry into today. But I want to ask you a question. Dude, listen, we have so much to get to and so little time, right? Unfortunately, 2 hours is just not enough. But I got to ask you, JB, do you agree with me or Mercado? The Broncos become a Super Bowl contender, not a winner, a contender, if Watson goes to the Broncos.
Yeah, I believe they become Super Bowl contenders. Yes, if they get Deshaun Watson.
So the only guy who is actually as dumb as he looks is Dan. It's incredible.
There's no way I look this dumb.
No, it's actually you look more dumb. But it's I love you, so I'm trying to just keep you with me.
All right, let's
here.
keep it clean.
I gotta ask you, JB, are you still out in Indianapolis or are you back in Texas, brother?
No, I was in Texas. I was here throughout the entire, whatever you want to call a snowstorm.
Wow. Did you lose power?
No, I did not actually.
Thank God, man. Are you
Yeah.
you guys are okay over there?
Oh, of course, man. I'm Jersey strong. We were the only house in the neighborhood pretty much with power and water.
I love that, bro. I look gritty.
That's good.
It show. I told everyone. I have the security guard at the facility I work at was talking about family in Houston, whatever. I told him, I said, listen, my family who went out there, they already know what it is. Like the cold to them, they haven't experienced it. But when the snow started falling, they're like, yo, I'm used to 4 feet of snow. Like this is, whatever. So, but I felt bad, man. My heart went out to a lot of the families that aren't used to it. Obviously, everyone's not used to anything lower than 50, 60 degrees. So I'm really glad you and your family were healthy and safe, JB. You've become quite the staple here at My Sports Radio. So when I thought about it, I said, man, I hope JB's family's good. Hope he's all right. I don't know if he's in Indy. but it's definitely good to know that you guys are okay. And I'm going to ask you a question here. My next question to JB, because we do have to sort of carry on here and do what we got to do, because we wanted to talk baseball. We had some nice segments built up for baseball. Deshaun Watson, since we're on the case, if there's one team that you would like to see Deshaun Watson go to, what team would it be? And I have one follow-up question for you after that.
Let's see. Right now, I'd have to say Denver.
Daniel, you're the only idiot in the room.
It's possible.
I mean, there's only two of us, and if it's not me, it's got to be you. Process of elimination. So,
All right, that's pretty fast math.
okay, 1 plus 1 is 3.
Yeah.
Minus 1, that's 2.
Yeah, don't hurt yourself, but
Quick math.
I can smell
So-
the hamster still wheel.
Big Shaq told me. Okay, bro. If Big Shaq says it is true.
No doubt.
Okay. So, you're like I said, Denver Broncos all in. Okay? All in.
Yes.
All day long. Okay. The the quarterback carousel. I want your opinion before we let you go, because I want to go to baseball. The QB carousel. Do you like what's going on right now with players dictating the team's moves, or are you actually against it?
Hang on. Repeat that question, because I want to make sure I get the answer correct.
Sure.
He wants to make sure you don't set him
Are
up.
you in favor for what's going on recently in the NFL, where players are dictating whether or not teams get to trade them, where they go, if they stay or not, demanding trades, or are you against players doing that?
Me personally, I'm against it, because the problem nowadays, especially with this younger generation, these guys are not built tough. If whether it's physically or mentally, I think this younger generation should look back at the old generation, look at all the stuff they had to go through, in order to progress. I think that's what this younger generation needs right now, because all they do, they're whining, they're crying, they're like, listen, when you're out there in the real world, I can't hold your hand.
Yep.
They need to man up.
But you got to toughen up.
I like it, man. I couldn't agree more, and it goes to show you what era or time frame or generation we grew up in compared to what is going on now. JB, stay safe out there, brother.
Absolutely. Thank you for reaching out again.
Of course.
We miss you dearly, and you always bring a bright spot into my day when I have to sit next to DM for 2 hours. So I appreciate you, bro.
Yep.
Stay safe out there, man.
No, not a problem, guys. You take care.
Thank you, bro.
Be good, JB.
Listen,
Later.
his point is actually amazing with the players just being soft.
I mean, it's what we've said it time and time again, but I don't think it's going to become a trend in the NFL the way it's so dominant in the NBA. Like I understand the point that you're talking about, but they're mad soft, son, mad soft.
Yep.
All right, in the NBA, and I don't think this. I think they're going to feel entitlement. I think that's what's going to be spreading, but I don't think it's going to be in the rampant power. A power struggle the way it is in the NBA. The NBA, the players have so much more dominance because of the collective bargaining agreement since it was changed. What was it in 2018? All those things just made it run rampant. Now, if you look at it now, going into the NBA, you're looking at the Nets, the Lakers, all these teams that were made super teams. You got teams with like the Lakers. One guy goes down, AD goes down. LeBron's going to have to forget about the load management. He's going to have to play. He's going to have to play more minutes. He's going to get tired. He's going to get worn out. Can they compete with the likes of the Heat? They just lost him the other day, right? Was it last night or the night before? They lose to the Heat. They lose by 2. It's a close game, but they just can't close it out, right? So you see these other super teams. I mean, who's beating the Nets? Wait till they get KD back. They haven't even gotten KD
I don't
back.
even want to talk basketball.
No, but they haven't even gotten KD back, and they're dominant team.
I'm tired
So
of it.
it's terrible.
I'm over it.
It's to your point. You mean how
Yeah.
dominant and how rampant it is that the players have so much power to dictate what happens to an entire franchise, right? What about all those other small market teams, right? Not everybody's in New York, not everybody's in LA, but that's all it look. Florida, not everybody's on these small market teams.
I want to actually, you know what's crazy about the NBA also? I want to we'll go to baseball, but I want to segue to something really quickly.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if there's a lot of collectors that are going to listen or watch the show or whatever the case may be. We've actually had some reach out to us thinking like this is what we talk about.
Right.
But this last year, the card market, the sports card market has exploded. None more so than the NBA. Zion Williamson's rookie cards, I've seen him go for as high as 100,000.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. I've,
Huge.
Ja Morant, thousands. Luka Doncic. I have a Luka Doncic right now, in orange, a base, Donruss, that goes for $4,500.
Wow.
Trae Young, these guys, the market is massive. And I think this is also part of the reason. I think this is also part of the reason why the NBA does this. They're the most marketable personally, and it helps everything else. So, for instance, like the card game, Kevin Durant, there's a PSA just got bought out by a minority group with Andy Roddick, Kevin Durant, a bunch of athletes, right?
Okay.
And to grade cards, things like that. In sports like this, the commodities are the actual player's likeness. What I mean by that is their faces, their jerseys, the shoes they wear. The NFL, you're wearing the team, right?
Right.
Hockey, you're wearing the team.
So you're saying in the NBA it's more of a personal brand.
Correct. So the players are able to manipulate what they want done because they understand how much pull they have. So right now, for instance,
They become influencers.
I'm working now with a small group of investors,
All right.
right, to bring a major play in the card industry.
Wow, that's great, John. Congratulations.
Onto the scene. Thank you. It's a win-win for everybody. To be honest with you, I think that there's
Is that a win-win for me?
well, yeah, you're next to me. I think
doubt.
that there's a time frame, right, where if people can capitalize on it the right way, everyone can make money.
Awesome.
So the thing about it is the NBA is going to help that process the most, and when NBA players see that value off the court, they understand how much they can have it on the court. So when Kevin Durant says, "Now I want to invest in my own business with my own card for my own likeness, for my own investment, personal investment and security," he then says it to a team, "It's in my best interest to be somewhere else." Why be with Brooklyn? New York's the most marketable, right?
Right.
You're not going to get mega money for OKC. You're not going to get mega money for Golden State Warriors. Now, I said you can get that in marketing yourself, shoe deals, whatever. But what I mean by that is there's no way Kevin Durant, without being in New York and that presence, is able to start taking over businesses and becoming an investor into some of these fields. Some of these guys that are in places, and this is why, when LeBron went back to win a championship in Cleveland, he was super fast to move out. And by the way, which places did he go? Miami,
Los
LA.
Angeles.
There's reasons for it, right?
Yep.
So these guys are taking control of where they go. Now, I'm not in favor of it. The reason why I'm not in favor of it is because it cripples the
Small market teams.
It cripples the small market teams. I'm an Orlando Magic fan. We have no chance of winning a championship until all these guys have retired. And I have to hope that by then there's no more LeBron's super teams, right? So it's very, very tough for small market teams. And by the way, this is why the Knicks are hurting. No one picked New York. They picked Brooklyn, right? So now the Knicks, even though they're still the big market team in New York, no matter what anybody says. And by the way, I got to say, it was so nice to see fans back in MSG. And it wasn't that many. It was 2,000, but...
And they lost, but still, it must have been great for them to see that.
Yeah.
And, Julius Randle getting awarded the All-Star game nod. And, I think they went a little far chanting MVP in the middle of the game, but you know what? Especially in a loss. But you know what? It was nice sentiment to him. And even his mom, they put his mom up on the the big Megatron.
But it goes to show you, though, you play in the Garden. New York fans are hungry. They have a player that they feel they could root for. Even if he's not, which he's not, the MVP, that's their guy.
Absolutely.
So you might as well chant it because it gives you a reason to get that hope. You haven't been in MSG
Absolutely.
yet. Your first day back. You're jacked up. You're ready to go. And it's tough to say that Madison Square Garden is not the Mecca anymore. It's not. But even though I'm not a Knicks fan.
Where is, though?
What?
Brooklyn?
No.
Then where is the Mecca if New York's not the Mecca anymore?
When it comes to importance of games?
Well, I'm not saying importance of games. They call it the Mecca for a reason because everybody wants to play in New York. And it's usually
Because
for
it
the
was-
other teams.
Because it was the center.
I know why they call it that. I'm saying, why are you saying it's not the Mecca now?
Buck DeSantis.
What has changed?
The fact that nobody wants to go there. So if nobody wants to go there, you can't have that name. You can't have that aura. You can't have that prestige. If people, you can continue to call something, even if they don't want to win. And this is actually the biggest difference with me with the new Yankee Stadium and the old one.
What?
The new Yankee Stadium, you can move as much history as you want in the stadium, but it's not going to be Yankee Stadium because you don't have that aura, that atmosphere. There's not many players now that will just pick New York Yankees without even thinking twice. Bro, players go everywhere else, right? Like, it's just, are the Yankees a great franchise to play for? Of course. But players aren't like, I have to play at Yankee Stadium. But I feel for a while, CC Sabathia wanted to play there.
Yep.
Right? So there's some guys, A-Rod wanted to win there. A-Rod wanted to win there more than anybody else because A-Rod knew if you ain't going to win a championship in New York, it doesn't matter what your numbers look like, brother.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. So there's reasons why these guys go there. MSG is not the Mecca. In the 90s, when Messier and Richter and Gretzky and Leach and Graves and Stark and Houston and Ewing and Oakley.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Talk about
saying?
it, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? When you have these guys going through that stadium on a nightly basis, Sprewell, you're like, man, this is, bro.
He had a chokehold on the game.
You're like, this, literally. Some would say people in it as well. But you look at that and you're like, there's just no better place to play than in New York, man. And that's why it's not anymore. And listen, for all intents and purposes,
I think we can get there again.
I think, of course, I think so too. But I think LA is probably is now the best place to be. I would have to presume that it is because, the Dodgers win the World Series. The Lakers win the NBA championship. The Rams are winning games. Justin Herbert is up and coming.
And the Rams, hopefully with the addition of Matt Stafford, can make a play for that Super Bowl run as well.
So I think that LA is probably the new landing point for some sort of Mecca, if we're going to go that route. I think that for a little bit, to be honest with you, I think Houston was up there. I think that the Houston.
I think they were trending for
Yeah.
for a moment, and then fell off the map after the
Houston
after the
had-
scandal.
yeah.
And now what you were mentioning about Deshaun Watson complaining about everything.
So, the Houston Rockets were showing promise with Harden and CP3. The Texans were showing promise with the team and Deshaun Watson. All playoff teams. And then Houston Astros win a championship, right? Like you're talking about real life, a city that's full of winning at that current moment. So I would say that was probably most recent, the city that had it working for him. But listen, there's a lot of good happening in New York, man. The Yankees are the favorite to win the World Series. The Mets have now moved into the number 5 spot in the power rankings.
It's nice. I like it.
Francisco Lindor is a New York Met. Carrasco's a Met. You have big names with the New York Yankees. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people who want to be here, who want to play here. Both teams are making sneaky good moves. I love the direction both teams are going in. But I want to ask you a little player question.
All right.
Okay. Starting a franchise. And Tampa Bay. Yes, Tampa Bay Lightning.
Absolutely,
Tampa Bay
with the
Buccaneers.
NHL. That's
Tampa Bay
correct.
Rays.
Good job, Johnny Butters.
The Tampa Bay Rays lost in the World Series. Tampa Bay Lightning won the Stanley Cup, and the Buccaneers won the Super Bowl. Absolutely,
Yeah,
Johnny
that's
Butters.
great.
Absolutely, JB. I'm going to ask you a question. MLB, you're starting a franchise. You got to take one player. Who do you take to start? Right now.
MLB right now. Starting a franchise.
First of all, do you go pitcher or do you go fielder?
No, you got to go pitcher.
Who's the best pitcher in baseball?
Jacob DeGrom.
And he's power ranked number 3 overall. Best player in baseball. You take DeGrom first?
I take DeGrom first, but I got to tell you, I noticed in the rankings, the Cy Young Award bets. Because we always talk about bets, and we always look at. I'm a degenerate gambler.
Absolutely.
I'm a partial degenerate gambler. So
Partial.
looking at it, I saw Garrett Cole is actually listed to be top pick for the Cy Young. What do you think about that?
I think it's awful because, the Cy Young for the American League.
Right.
Bro, it's so hard in the AL East, man. Gosh.
I mean, they have them without even a close second. So it's like
The Rays. Oh. Wow. It's a great question.
And I think he's at plus 300 or something like that. So I mean, before
Cole-
the season starts, looking at him, and Garrett Cole, the beast, absolute monster on the mound. I love it. It's great. But you know what? I don't think you can just put him up there, especially in the AL with so many other good pitchers out there.
So,
Who do you think's got a better rotation, the Mets or the Yankees? All right, so
I would.
you're starting. All right, yeah, let
I would
me
say the
present it the way you did. Let me
Okay.
present it the way you did. Starting a franchise, you can choose whichever rotation you want. You'd take the Yankees rotation.
Yeah. I would have to.
Better closers.
Yeah, the bullpen's very bad on the other side. I think, yeah.
I think that's the only reason though. I think it's because of the closers, because of the help.
Sure.
Yeah, because I mean, who you got? Edwin Diaz. I think we need to
Terrible.
make a move for a closer, or dig deep in the farm, and bring somebody up. But we're going to need a closer. I don't think Edwin Diaz can last the whole season.
Absolutely.
So I think that's going to be our only downfall. But now with all these bats on here, if we can get some run support, maybe Diaz doesn't have such a hard time closing games. You think that relieves it a little bit? Or do you see us still losing games? You mean winning 5-3 and then losing 8-5?
The
At the end of the
bullpen's
season.
more
At the end
important
of
than
the
it's
game.
ever been in the history of baseball. Pitchers do not pitch more than 6 innings a game. So you need a 7th, 8th, 9th guy. Edwin Diaz
It's not like it was back in the day.
Edwin Diaz is bad.
Doc Gooden would go 7, 8, 9 innings
Ah,
all day.
Come on, dude. I mean, Roy Halladay, 9 innings.
day.
Clemens, 9 innings. Schilling, 9 innings. Johnson, 9 innings.
And I think
Come
DeGrom can do that. I think DeGrom can pitch, into the 8th. And, let a closer come in. He can probably close the game out. But I'll be honest with you, you got to manage that. We don't know what we're getting from Cookie Carrasco yet. So I would have to agree with you. I mean, the Mets have a strong rotation. In the NL, I think definitely top 3 rotation.
So everyone would say Trout. right? They're actually Trout's ranked number 1.
I believe it. Listen, this huge bat, great fielder,
I'm going to say Mookie Betts.
strong. That if I'm going to go fielder, I'd go Mookie as well. I can't argue with that.
Mookie Betts. I think Mookie Betts. It's
Huge loss for Boston.
Huge. He goes to L.A. They win a championship. I think
he should have been the MVP.
Yeah, the guy's definitely invaluable. I would take Mookie Betts, and the reason why is because I've seen Trout get hurt. So, I would say Mookie Betts.
We're gonna address the elephant in the room.
Tell me what the elephant in the room is.
Domingo Germán.
His domestic violence.
Yep.
I mean, that's not the.
Are the Yankees cutting him?
That's not the elephant in the room I thought you were talking about. But
No, not that one, John. Stop looking down.
So, are they going to cut him? I think you have to.
I think it's the best for the organization.
I think
I feel bad for him, but I think he needs that relationship needs help. Whatever that personal stuff is, they need to keep it off the field. The fact that it happened in front of a bunch of other players, I think was horrible. I think the only choice they have is to cut him. I know he came out and apologized on national TV, but there's only one person that needs his apology, and whether she forgives him or not, and whether she stays with him or not, I don't think there's any place for that on the baseball field, and for you to bring that out in public and have that happen in a public setting in front of your other players, I don't think they have any choice but to cut him. What was the elephant you were talking about?
I was talking about Tiger Woods.
No, we're gonna get into that now.
Yeah, so that's where I would go. But for baseball though, I would take Mookie Betts. You would take DeGrom.
Yep.
Not bad. Mets, they have them at 90 wins. You think over under?
Over. I think we get 100 wins.
Wow.
I think we get 100 wins.
You thank God they don't drug test in the studio. You're sick.
Why? Everything's legal.
Come on, dude.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
100 wins, brother?
You said 90
I'm a
wins.
Met fan.
You said 90
saying
wins.
100?
You gave me over or under. I think it's over. I even
All
think
right.
they can get to 100. How about that? I'll place it like that. I think they can
have
get
the
to
Yan-
the.
They have the Yankees at 95. You think the Mets would have more than the Yankees?
Yeah,
Bro. I mean, that's
dude, it's a different league.
I mean, listen, it's your choice, right? That's fine.
Right.
You know, you can sound as dumb as you want. That's why I love you.
You're ridiculous. It's not dumb.
It's absurd to think
If everybody stays healthy,
the bullpen is going to blow you 10 games. You're not
you
gonna
just
go
agreed
on-
if we get the run support, right. So here we go with the what if game. So you agreed if we get the run support, then those games will be a lot closer. I think it's very possible that we get over 90 wins, and I think if our defense is strong enough, you can get to 100.
I think the Mets would just win 90. I think it's a push.
You think it's a push?
I think it's a push. I think 90
I'll take the over.
I think 90 is a great number. I would love to win 90 games. That would mean that you're also beating up on your own division, which means you have a better chance of
Yep.
making the playoffs. I love.
Again, health-wise, if we can get ahead in games early, I think you don't need to press the closer so much.
Okay. So Tiger Woods now. Everyone knows Tiger Woods got into a bad accident yesterday.
Terrible, horrible accident. Had to be removed with the jaws of life.
He has multiple, I just heard today, multiple compound fractures.
Yeah,
Multiple.
open wounds. More than 2 open wounds were seen at the scene when they removed him from the car. Poor guy, man. Listen, we're praying for him, pulling for him.
So let me ask you a question with Tiger Woods. Does he ever recover and get back?
Listen, I hope he recovers. But and listen, you know what, everybody, that's a really good question. I've heard other shows talking about why are we talking about if he gets back? Forget about golf and this. No, we're sports shows. We're supposed to talk about this. So first of all those people that think we can't wish him well and still hope he gets back to the game, that's ridiculous. All right, so all those other sports shows I just want to pray for him. And listen, we all want him to get better. I think if Alex Smith, you mentioned this, if Alex Smith in a crushing team sport can get back and play at a fairly high level, or respectable level at least, got to playoff, right? I think Tiger Woods can get back. My only issue is I broke an ankle. So my stuff is not like as severe as this traumatic accident, which could possibly lead to him, going to therapy after an accident like this. He may not want to drive again, right? I mean, how horrific it was when you see the car at the scene, how crushed it was, and that they had to remove the door with, I mean, Jaws of Life. Which you know what? I know people take this when they say Jaws of Life, it's much more mortality involved, right? It's like, oh my God, did he die? Is he dead? Did they remove a dead body from the car? So he's alive, he's well.
When I saw
getting
the car,
getting surgery, yeah, I thought the worst, absolutely.
I thought Kobe and then Tiger.
Yeah, I mean it's terrible, especially with all the doom and gloom we've had in this past year of 2020 and all the greats we've lost. It would have been a loss to the world, not to just the golfing community. John, you recently found out that I like to play golf, but I mean I'll wear my red shirt on Sundays. It's because of him. I was never big on golf, so I would love to see him get back in the game. I would love to see him recover, get well. But again, this is a guy that's going to have to learn. I mean, Alex Smith said he had to learn how to walk again.
So, just out of curiosity, a guy who's worth $1 billion, how does he not have a driver? How do you not have a driver?
Listen,
you're
I mean,
worth $1 billion. How do you not have a driver?
I don't know, but you know what? Sometimes you want to drive yourself. I don't know. Maybe he's one of those guys doesn't like to have a driver.
So
some people like to drive themselves.
7 a.m. in the morning. He's probably on pain medicine for his back surgery, the 5th one that he's recovering from 9 weeks in.
And that's
in a rush.
And that's huge because, like I was telling you, I got lower back problems, right? I get spasms from when I'm young, right? Hurt my lower back.
I thought it's because you sat on your thumb.
Pinch nerves. No, that's my finger. It's not my thumb.
Wow, incredible.
So when I broke my ankle, I realized. I mean, when
you hurt your back.
No, dude, it's so. When you break your ankle, I didn't realize. Somebody told me, "Oh, you're gonna have to go to back therapy." I'm like, "What? I go to back therapy now, right? What's the difference?" Yeah. And they're like, "No, listen, because you're limping on one leg, it shifts your lower back,
I can see that.
and all your muscles and tendons on one side because you're favoring it. So he's gonna have to learn how to walk altogether. I didn't have to learn how to walk again, and I had back problems. He's already got back problems. He's got a broken leg. I don't know. I hope he comes back. I do want him to get well, and for him and his family and his kids." But, that's going to be a difficult task. I mean, we're going to see, hopefully he's got enough fight in him to be the champion that he is and move forward. And I know a lot of stars reached out on Twitter. I was watching the feed on CBS, and a lot of other sports champions. Mike Tyson reached out to him on Twitter. Told him, do the best you can, keep fighting. Serena Williams reached out to him, said, "Hey, my brother, I wish you well. You're going to be strong. We're going to get through this together." So he's got support from all his peers in other sports, and kudos to all those people who reached out to him. I think it's amazing to see a comeback story. We'd like to see that. And Tiger, we wish you well. I mean, if you can come back to the sport, great. If you don't, I just hope he can still support the sport in some capacity, whether it be vicariously through his son if he can't play. But I wish him well, and I hope he does come back and play because he means so much for the sport. He made it cool for me to want to play golf. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Absolutely. Because I used to think golf, and tell me how many people out there who played football, basketball, baseball looked at the golf kid, the golf team in their high school, and went, "That's a sport, right?" Well, joke's on you because he's changed the sport and transcended it to a point where now people are changing their game. They're tailoring their game after him. I mean, they brought it up on a couple other sports shows. How you see, you and I talk about how we're just two dads. We're out here trying to live our dream. Imagine changing how people come onto the radio. Now they want to dress like us. They want to talk like us. They want to talk about the same stuff we want to talk about. Right? They work out. They eat the same food we eat. And people are tailoring their whole lifestyle after him. If transcending the sport meant something, he is the epitome of it.
I heard something that was crazy. So I'm listening to the radio. I forgot who said it, man. But he said, I talked to Jack Nicklaus, and Jack Nicklaus told me that he thought Tiger Woods was the greatest golfer of all time.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow,
Now,
to get that from Jack Nicklaus, that kudos? Wow.
Now, this reporter said, this is how I dictated how the reason why I thought Tiger Woods was the greatest of all time. He said, if I print out a picture of Jack Nicklaus, more than likely, I can go anywhere in the world and they will not recognize him. They'll just think it's an old white guy, right? They won't know. But he said, I can print out a picture of Tiger Woods and
Not even with a golf club in his hand.
and every single person, most people around the world
Would recognize.
will recognize Tiger Woods.
Facts.
And that's a great way of saying it because
Huge.
I do think that, when he came onto the scene, 97, 98, and he was that young kid and the Masters and the fist pump, and they made a big deal of the African-American aspect of it. But the craziest thing was
He was the best.
it's not the reason why it's not a color thing is because when you have in the majority of the sport being white, right?
Right.
All of them idolizing him, it can't be a black or white thing.
You can't.
So it's just a matter of how great that person is, the aura he has around him. Dude, there are pictures of him. I've had memorabilia where he'll be walking down the 18th at the Masters in that red shirt with thousands of people following him. Thousands following
Amazing.
him down the
Amazing.
fairway.
Absolutely stunning.
And to know that everyone's trailing this one guy, waiting to just have his swing completed so they can go nuts and scream, get in the hole,
Amazing.
is incredible. He's changed the game forever, and it doesn't matter who you are. You wanted to play like Tiger Woods. And for me, what hits home the most, and I know it will for you too, is when I saw the crash, and it was what had me in tears with Kobe. His daughter passed in the crash, and
I was just hoping that his son wasn't in there.
I said,
His family.
yeah, Tiger. Yeah, you were hoping. Yeah, I thought to myself with Kobe, I remember thinking, I closed my eyes and I was trying to think about looking at my daughter for the last time knowing. Okay?
Horrible feeling.
So of course I'm holding my daughter and I'm like in tears in the living room trying to figure out how this family is even going to function, right?
Ugh.
And I see the Tiger accident. And I didn't
Devastating.
I didn't see reports, and I thought to myself, "Oh my God, dude! First of all, Tiger's son has been going everywhere with him lately. Everywhere. He's been playing with him on the course. Everywhere. I'm thinking to myself, dude, please tell me Tiger's not gone, and please tell me his son was not in the car."
Ugh.
And that's what got me the most.
Hits you in the pit of your stomach, man.
That's what got me the most with Kobe. When you lose somebody, anybody, you lose a legend, you're taken aback, right? You're like, holy crap, man. Muhammad Ali passes, you knew he was at the end of his run, but a legend passes and you're like, wow, bro. Holy crap, dude. Muhammad Ali is gone?
Bro, it really brings your mortality level, down to the ground.
But Kobe passes and his daughter's with him, bro.
Ugh.
You're like, it's a whole nother stratosphere of pain. So when I saw the Kobe crash and I saw the car, I thought to myself, oh my God, dude. I saw the Tiger crash. I was like, oh my God, dude. Is Tiger's son in the car with him? Like, oh my God. Because you remember, there wasn't initial reports of his daughter in the helicopter until after there was many reports of a few people. They just kept saying there was a few people.
Right.
So that's how it was. I just expected like a further report to come out. So thank God, man, that Tiger is
He's
okay.
alive. Yeah.
Thank God he went through his surgery. Now, the report is that
I'm sure there'll be plenty of other surgeries after this, though.
Oh,
He's got a ton of stuff to go through to get to his recovery.
they were comparing the severity to Alex Smith, and they said Alex Smith, his injury, there was a twist also. And Tiger Woods was multiple breaks through the skin, compound breaks.
Yeah,
So it was a difference. But what they said, the exact similarity was how scared the doctors said they were going to be fighting infections, because that's actually how Alex Smith almost lost his leg. It wasn't the injury; it was the infection.
Yeah, the infection it starts something. I forgot what the medical term for it, but it starts to swell up beyond on your lower leg.
Correct.
Beyond the wounds, and that part starts to swell up, and you need blood transfusions. You gotta transfer skin grafts. There's so much involved. Some of them they said that they have to on Alex Smith, that when he got that big infection where he thought he was going to lose his leg, they had to peel like the skin off because it was swelling so much to relieve the pressure.
Yep.
It wasn't like you can pick it at one spot and drain it out like when your knee gets water.
Yeah.
It's like you got to peel the skin off. You got to like scalp your leg.
Yep.
So to relieve the pressure, that's bananas.
It's
It's insane.
It is insane. So when you see that car, you're like, someone walked out of that.
Yeah,
And-
that's just amazing. The power
And
of
by
God, man.
walked, I mean lived. So, it's scary, bro. It gets scary out there. So we tell everybody, with these, and what the even crazier part? I talked about the sports card market.
Right.
You want to know what was nuts? That hours later, Tiger Woods cards went up 93%.
Wow.
I think people thought he was going to die, and the value skyrocketed.
Oh, I can imagine.
But it's like a crazy thing how certain things will go hand in hand, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it just shows you, it doesn't matter who you are. You are not immune to everything. You are not exempt from things regular people would be exempt from. And every day is not a given. It should never be taken for granted.
Tomorrow's a mystery. Yesterday was history, and today's a gift. That's why they call it the present.
That's it. And we said it on the show last night, when people say, I'm thankful that I woke up. Listen, I expect every day to wake up. I'm just hoping I can live my life to the fullest, right? So I'm
Absolutely.
expecting. So there's no reason for me to fall asleep and say, this is my last night. Like, it's silly to say that. But what it's not silly to say is, could there have been more today that I could have done better?
Absolutely.
Is there more today that I could have done more of? So I think everyone should just take that and understand that life is definitely precious, man. And we sit up here and listen. Dude, I drive Nissans. I have a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom. It's a townhouse, but I am blessed beyond belief, bro.
Absolutely,
Blessed.
bro.
So
God is good.
absolutely. So I think every day everybody should just look around and say,
Say I love you to all your loved ones. I mean, don't be afraid to shout it out from the mountaintop.
Yep.
I mean, I know I'm a cornball and I'm mad extra with all kinds of other stuff, and even my friends will tell me. But you know what? When I'm gone, they'll appreciate that I cared so much. You know what I mean, to make sure every moment that I had was
I always just thought it was 'cause
cherished,
I always just
especially
thought-
with my family.
I always thought it was because you're just like a Spanish guy. I thought it was like kind of came with the territory.
Oh, because I'm Latino, I like a lot of love.
I just thought you were like really over the top, but then I just realized it was you.
Yeah, it's just me.
But it's still a good stereotype, though. I'm just letting you know.
There's
Still-
another stereotype. We'll talk about it afterwards.
All right, good. All right, cool. I like it.
Thanks for lighting that up.
But dude, today it felt good to be back. It felt good to be out of quarantine.
Oh,
It
thank
felt
God.
Good. It felt good to be back in the show. It was great to get on John Brecco's the round table
Absolutely.
last night.
And I want to thank you publicly because John mentioning that he was in quarantine, the guy, as soon as he got a sniffle, the guy called me and said, because he was worried about my son and my family, not just his own, he reached out to me to make sure that, the show went on, that I did the show at least from home, and he kept away from me and quarantined himself. And I just want to thank you for that. I appreciate you thinking of my family.
Absolutely, bro. Listen, I say it all the time. I do not shy away from it. The COVID thing is not. It's, to me, it is what it is, right? It's here, and at some point you're gonna come in contact with it or have it. So I don't like stay in a bubble, but I'm here with somebody that I care about, and you have your kid, and there's a medical history. So the most important thing to me is making sure that the people who are scared to get it, who are nervous about it, and something can happen potentially, you have to take care of them.
Absolutely, man.
So that's what it was about. You know, you went on the
Thinking
show.
about others, bro. I appreciate you.
That's it, man. But it was good. It was great to be back in studio. Anybody listening, tuning in, anyone who's in Mystery Sports Reveals in the other MSR 1.0. This is MSR 2.0. MSR. Anybody who's in MSR 1.0, a big drop in the sports card realm is coming to the room. We're about to drop a bomb. It's going to be great. God
It's going to have a name?
God willing, we can make, Mystery Sports Reveals. God willing, we can make some people out there thousands of dollars. They can get their cards graded. They can send them out. God willing, the turnaround time gets faster because PSA was just bought by Nat Turner and another small investment company, and it can go from 15 days instead of 7 months to maybe the 15-day turnaround being 15 days. And we are going to have a really, really good time. And like I said, hopefully we can make some people a lot of money during the way. And next week, I'm trying to get a couple of investors, sports card investors who do big shows onto the show to maybe talk about cards, the sports card world for us.
Yeah, man.
See if we can get them in, talk about that a little bit. And as always, Danny,
Johnny?
phenomenal show today.
Phenomenal.
Guys and girls, thank you for tuning in, choosing us Wednesday night from 4 to 6 p.m. to be your spot to, hear about sports, hear how we feel about it, being part of the My Sports Radio family. As always, we don't go anywhere without you guys. Every week it seems like we're hitting 1,800 views, 2,000 views, man.
Yeah, man, we love you. Keep sharing.
Yep.
Keep sharing the posts.
Keep sharing.
Soon we're going to be on IG. You should see the post now.
Yep.
We'll be posting that up probably later tonight, so everybody gets that link to our IG, because I know a lot of people are on IG that are not on Facebook. Listen,
Correct.
we appreciate you every time you post it, every time you give us the like, every time you share. Greatly appreciate it. And look for us on Spotify.
Yes.
We'll be posting that link hopefully by next week.
Absolutely. Well, it's going to go up this week, but next
There you
week,
go.
obviously, during the show, you'll be able to listen to it. We have the producer said he was going to be able to get the audio for us from our shows so we can do it. So we'll be ready to rock and roll, man.
Let's do it, brother.
We're going to be
Bigger and better every week.
We're going to be in and on the places that matter.
Do the damn thing.
Guys and girls, you're listening on HamiltonRadio.net, Channel 2, simulcast on Facebook. You're listening to the greatest sports talk show in the biz. Guys, this is My Sports Radio with John Intel and Daniel Mercado. We'll catch you in 6 days, 22 hours. We're out of here. MSR's
Peace.
out.
You're rocking with the newest radio show on Hamilton Radio, My Sports Radio.
Deals. And Bonds hits one high. It's a dig. It is the all-time home run list.
Trainer right next to me is saying it. You may hear him. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
Going to be fielded by Lorenzo Neal at the 25. Pitches it back to Wycheck. He throws it across the field to Dyson. He's got something. He's got something. 50. He's got it. 40. He's got it. 20. 10. He's got it. End zone. Touchdown, Mike. There are no flags on the field. It's a miracle.
Sports Radio. It's the greatest sports talk show host in the business. The dynamic duo. Your host, John Intel and Daniel Mercado.